Today we're diving into an idea that might feel a little backward at first, that in leadership and especially in attraction, being silent can be your biggest strength. Yeah, a superpower. Let's get into it.
Look, this is a tough one. It's that really painful question you ask yourself when you've done everything right. You gave her 100% of your attention, you listened to everything she said, you tried to fulfill every single request, because you thought that's what you were supposed to do. And then, one day, she was gone. And it almost always ends with this one sentence, doesn't it? It's like a gut punch, and it leaves you totally confused, wondering where it all went wrong. Well, the sources we're breaking down today suggest the answer is in a place you'd probably never think to look. And that brings us to something called the nice guy paradox. It's this incredibly frustrating loop where trying to be the most accommodating, perfect partner seems to do the exact opposite of what you want. So, what is really going on here? This slide really gets to the heart of it. The theory isn't that you were too good or too nice. It's that you became passive. See, by trading your own goals, your own mission, for her approval, you slowly started to lose the very thing that made you, well, you. The thing that was attractive to begin with. You weren't a partner anymore. You had become a follower.
And this is absolutely crucial. There's this psychological theory of the missing half, which says we aren't really looking for a mirror image of ourselves. Instead, we're drawn to people who have the qualities we lack. It's like we want to consume those traits. Think about it. A shy person is often fascinated by an outgoing one. A disorganized person might be drawn to someone who's incredibly stable. It's about completion, not duplication.
Okay, so if being a people pleaser can backfire, what's the alternative? Well, the sources give us this really powerful metaphor for a totally different kind of strength: the silent lighthouse. Just think about that for a second. A lighthouse doesn't run around the ocean trying to find ships. No way. It stands firm, totally unmoving, and it shines its light. It provides direction, stability. Its power comes from its unwavering mission. If it started chasing the waves, everything would just be chaos. Now, that kind of stability is more valuable than ever because of this modern idea called mental load. It's all that invisible work our brains do all day, making decisions about careers, bills, what to eat, planning things with friends. Our brains can only handle so much of this, and the argument is that this load is heavier than ever before.
And this slide just nails the difference. Asking, hey, what do you want to eat, seems polite, right? But what it really does is add another decision to a brain that's already tired. A leader, in this model, makes the decision. Be ready at 8. This doesn't add to her mental load. It actually takes it away. It lets the other person just relax and enjoy the moment.
So how does this whole leadership idea connect to our deeper desires? Well, the sources we looked at claim that underneath all our social conditioning, there are these unspoken fantasies that really drive attraction. Let's dig into 3 of them.
All right, fantasy number 1. This is all about strength and having solid boundaries.
Now, the way the sources frame this is as the desire for a partner who cannot be consumed by her. When attraction is really intense, one person might just want all of the other's time, all of their attention. This fantasy is about being with someone who has a mission that's bigger than that. Someone who can actually say no, not to be mean, but because his purpose is his compass. His identity isn't up for negotiation. Okay, now to show you just how powerful this kind of dynamic can get, the source material brings up a really dark and disturbing case study. And I have to be crystal clear here, this is used as a cautionary tale. This is a look at how that desire for a missing half can be twisted into something truly horrifying and pathological. Myra Hindley was just a normal young woman, but then she met Ian Brady. He was dominant, he was confident, and he was completely absorbed in these dark, twisted ideologies. He was everything she wasn't, and she became utterly obsessed. To her, he was that powerful missing half, and in her desperate need for his approval, she started to completely erase herself. She adopted his worldview, his style, and eventually his monstrous criminality.
This quote from her diary really shows that initial spark. You see, it wasn't about him being kind. It was about a perceived dominance that filled some kind of void she felt inside. Again, this is an extreme, tragic example, but it's used to show the ultimate danger of losing yourself completely in another person. It's the absolute opposite of that stoic leader we're talking about.
Okay, so the second fantasy is way less extreme, but it taps into another really powerful part of our psychology:
This is all about the thrill of a secret world, that feeling of crossing a line together. It creates this us against the world excitement and a bond that feels totally exclusive and special.
This idea is actually backed by a real psychological principle called reactance theory. You know this feeling. It's why a do not touch sign makes you want to touch something. It's why the forbidden fruit is always the sweetest. When we feel like a freedom is being restricted, our desire for it just goes through the roof. Creating a shared space that feels just a little bit forbidden can be a huge driver of attraction. And that brings us to the third and final fantasy, which kind of ties everything together.
This is the magic combination. It's a leader who provides a solid foundation of safety and stability, but who also brings adventure and surprise to the table. It's that feeling of being with someone who's got things handled. You know, the plans, the direction, which allows you to just relax. But they also keep things exciting. It's the freedom to just turn your brain off for a while because you trust the person leading the way.
So, after all that, what's the big point here? The sources are really pointing to one fundamental shift in your mindset, moving from being a follower who's always looking for approval to becoming a leader who provides direction.
So, let's just break down the key takeaways. First, your mission has to come first. That's where your identity comes from. Second, silence and making a decision. Those are signs of strength, not weakness. Third, remember that missing half idea. Attraction is often about finding a complement, not a reflection. And finally, real leadership can lighten the mental load of modern life, and that is a powerful gift to give someone.
And so, that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. In your own life, have you been trading your mission for approval? Have you put that lighthouse on wheels and started chasing after the ships? It's definitely something to think about.